So what is up, guys? JCZ here at Resource Mulch. Decided to do this video to give you an update and go over a couple of things. I said I was gonna put this video out whenever I got a chance. It's been a while since I posted. I'm sitting here in Columbus, Ohio. Got up real early this morning, got loaded, and there's probably 20-30 trucks here waiting to get unloaded, and they are not able to unload any trucks at the moment. The scale is broke. So what I want to go over in this video is give you an update or give you some information on this 2018 Fitzgerald glider truck. It's a 389, the Peterbilt, and got several things to talk about. Well, I'm gonna try to fly right through them, so hang tight. So one thing that I had to research a lot before I bought this truck, or I got this truck, and it was the break-in. So this video is more going to be more about the break-in period. Right now the truck's got about 6,000 miles on it. I'm not exactly sure. 6,663 miles. There you go. At the moment. So Fitzgerald, this truck has a Series 60 engine, a Detroit Series 60 to 12.7 liter. So the recommended break-in oil, the first oil change is done between 5,000 and 7,500. So, and the preferred is as soon as you hit those 5,000 miles, bring it to the shop, get a full service done on it. It was I hit 5,000. It was like 5,500 that very same night. The truck was hot. Just brought it in the shop, did the oil change. I changed the fuel filter. These trucks, by the way, the subsystem, the fuel system is how it's set up. It only has a fuel water separator. Most fuel systems for over-the-road trucks will have primary and secondary systems in them, or filtration systems. This one just has one. It has a fuel water separator. Bam! It goes right into the engine, into the fuel pump, into the engine, into the common rail, and then back to your tanks. There's no filter after that. There's probably a strainer down inside the fuel tank, I would imagine, for particles or whatnot inside your tanks, or dirt. So the break-in period. What I found out is, okay, a diesel mechanic or a diesel engine shop, what is preferred, not that it's not recommended from my research. This is what I came to a conclusion with from going back and forth with several diesel mechanics and researching this topic is it safe to pick up the truck and bobtail it? I mean, it's a brand new truck, fully remanned engine in it, brand new truck, bobtail it for 400, 500 miles. You know what I mean? What is preferred is bring a trailer, and loaded or empty. If it's loaded, boom. If you got the time, if you got the way to get a trailer, when you go pick up one of these trucks or a brand new truck, take another truck with you with a load on it, go pick up your truck and hitch into it. The only issue is, of course, your stickers, and you're gonna have to figure all that out. You're gonna have to put a sticker, a sign on the door and everything, your DOT numbers and all that, in case you gotta run through weigh stations or whatnot, because you'll be technically under a load. So the most important thing was, don't let it idle. Once you turn the truck on, don't let it idle for too long. Okay, some drivers and some mechanics will say kick the idle up, in theory, that is correct, because when you kick the idle up, you're raising the cylinder pressures. Cylinder pressures are increased under a high idle, which means the engine will stay hotter. But you don't want to idle it. What you want to do is run it, keep it hot. You don't want to be mean to it, but you want to drive it hard, and you want to get the engine to rev up at all kinds of different RPMs. It's not a set 1500 or 1600. Keep it steady there. It's a good break-in is going to be up and down on your RPMs. Different gears, different speeds, different loads, different weight, stuff like that. Okay, so some drivers, those drivers like, oh, you shouldn't be bobtailing that truck out, or put a load on it. You know what I mean? Well, I didn't do that. Went down to Tennessee, picked it up at Fitzgerald, and bobtailed it over to Ohio. And then from there, bobtailed it over to Indiana to get a pump put on it. And I think this truck was driven 500 to 600 miles before it got a load put on it. But when it finally got a load put on it, it was a nice heavy load. It was all the way up to 80,000 pounds. So far, the engine's running beautiful. It's running great. The fuel mileage, I noticed, has been right where all the other glider trucks that I've driven are at. Between 5.2, 5.9. When you're empty, you might get over 6 miles per gallon when you're empty, even with the trailer on. I believe when I bobtailed from Fitzgerald all the way up to Ohio, back to the house, I was getting like 8 or 9 miles per gallon, when I was bobtailing. I brought the truck in before I even put the first load on it or anything. After I brought it back to the shop and did a chassis lube on it, the entire chassis and everything's pre-lubed. It looked like there was grease, but I used to pre-deliver trucks, and I know that sometimes there is grease spots that are missed. So I went ahead and greased the driveline, greased the clutch, greased the forks, greased the steering and suspension components. Gave it a good lube. And what's interesting, I think I was at 2,300, 2,400 miles, and the truck started squeaking, especially in the front end. I was like, wow, I know I just greased this truck. And sure enough, what it is I go off-road a lot. Where I do my pickups and my deliveries, it's in very, very dusty environments. So when you're in very, very dusty environments, you're not staying on the highway, you're going to have to do chassis lubes a lot more often. What's recommended actually is 5,000 miles. Every 5,000 miles, if you're going off-road, 10%, 20% of the time the truck's going off-road, they recommend 5,000 miles is the recommended interval for chassis lube. Once you do the first full service on it after between 5,000 and 7,500 miles, you're not required to do another one for 15,000 miles. The recommended oil is Shell Rotella. That 15W40 is what's recommended. And you can do like a micron 7, micron 10 on your fuel water separator. So anyways, guys, so far this truck has SPAR heater, and the SPAR, the little control, the digital control up there, wigged out on me. So it still works. I know how to run it to where I can get my SPAR heater working and warm up the cab, but I'll probably have to get that looked at. So far, pretty awesome truck. It's running great. It's getting a good break-in. So anyways, guys, that is the break-in procedure, break-in information, what have you, for this 2018 389 Peterbilt glider out of Fitzgerald. Any questions, comments, leave it down below. Alright guys, later.